delta of about $4,500. So you buy the house at 200. Well, the one thing, Delta, is they want you to have a general contractor that, has the experience and has done a lot of these remodels. And hey, reach out to your boy in that situation, right? We'll take care of those, right? So you're coming up with, you taking a scope of work and going to the bank, showing that they approve it. They'll approve your general contractor, whoever is going to oversee the work, get that work done. That's in the scope of work. You come in, you buy the house. The bank is going to give you the loan amount to buy the house. Obviously, you put your 11,300 for your 3.5% down. And the bank gives you the money to buy the original loan to buy the house. Now, the 50,000 for the construction, they are going to put that in escrow, which pretty much means they're just going to put that money aside and then release that money as draws when the general contractor attains certain milestones within the scope of work, right? So you're calling it a draw. So the GC is making a draw against the funds that are held in escrow. You're done with your work. And now, when you're completed, if you look at the numbers, you bought a house for 250. In this situation, you bought for 200, right? And then you put 50,000 to remodel it. So you're at the same 250,000 purchase price per se. Now, in this second scenario, as I was talking about, when you're done, you have a house that is worth $325,000. In the first situation, your house is still worth 250. You did nothing to it. You just bought a house where the value was already fully tapped. There was nothing for you to tap into. In this situation, you have created an extra $75,000 of sweat equity, right? By buying an old house, remodeling it, and getting it up to, giving it a little more modern look. So you build that sweat equity. So you have a loan amount in my scenario. Your loan amount here is, you have you originally, but the bank gave you 250. If you think about it, let's just call it, just bear with me. The house was 200, the bank gave you 50,000. All in, you bought the house at 250,000. But remember, you put 3.5% down in scenario 2, and the 3.5% was 11,000. Let's call it 11,500. So that means in scenario 2, your loan amount is actually 238,500. In scenario 1, you bought the house for what? 250,000. You put 3.5% down, which was 8750. Your loan amount was actually higher in scenario 1. So in scenario 2, you have a loan amount of $238,000. 238,000. Let's call it 238. You have a house that is worth $325,000, right? After a year, you can probably go and say, you know what? You want to refinance this house and put a new loan on it so you can tap into that equity that you have created. You have 325,000 minus 238. I don't know what the math is. 325 minus 238. That's about $87,000 of equity. So if you went to a bank and now you want to refinance and say, hey, I have this house that's worth $325,000 in a different bank, and I only owe $238,500 on it. That bank is going to say, okay, you know what? Let's do some numbers, crunch some numbers. Fabrice, what is 80% of $325,000? I'm going to have to try to do some math. Let me see here. So 80% of $325,000 is $260,000. I only owe $238,000. The bank will say, well, because a bank likes to only borrow up to 80% of the value of your home in an ideal scenario. So they'll say, well, Fabrice, you have $260 of borrowable equity, but you only owe on the house $238,500. So we have $21,500 that we can cut you a check for. So now that you can have a new loan at $260, but you have some hard cash in hand, right? You still have, after the closing costs, let's say the bank ends up writing you a check for $15,000. Just think about what you've done. That would mean your original money, that with the original amount that you bought this house from, cash that came out of your pocket, in scenario 2 was $21,000. You've just recouped. How much did you recoup? You recouped $15,000 through refinancing the home. So you have a house that's worth 325. Yes, your loan amount is a little higher. Your loan amount is 260, right? But you have pretty much bought that house for what? $4,000 or $5,000 down. And you still have 20% equity in that house. That is something we don't talk about. That is something we don't talk about. I know the numbers, I love, it's tough talking about this without being able to sit someone down. Accountants would like to sit people down, talk through numbers, show demonstrations. And those are things that, as I probably get a little more sophisticated, I can, be able to, demonstrate so you can visualize exactly what I'm saying. But these are things we don't talk about. These are things we don't talk about. I think in our community, when you hear a friend say they want to buy a home, even if you don't have all the right answers, if you have some of the things that your pitfalls, just share this with them. But please try to, steer them in the direction of, hey, talk to this person. I hope I can be that name that you say, hey, talk to Fabrice so he can help you through this process. There's just a lot of information we don't know about. I'm still learning, but I think if we all have that mindset of, as we learn, we are going to share, we're going to collaborate, I think we're going to do a lot of good within our community, and we are all going to grow that generational wealth. This is just one strategy. There are so many things out there. And as we go through and as we learn more, guys, let us build our community. Let us be transparent and let us help each other, lift each other as we climb. And you know what? Help each other be a better version of ourselves every day. Thanks, guys. And I hope you have a great week coming up.